zoho.com. Okay. So first of all, let's make a new page for new Python package. Exercises. There's new file. Name it as Zoho. Yeah, and say I just copy this, this tell me. Yeah, and the website name, just copy this and paste it over here. Okay, now going into this website, I have to click on this sign in, okay, so that I can go to sign up page.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's take a XPath. So you just install the selector hub extension in your Chrome,
Okay.
okay, or you can just say inspect it and just right click on this and say copy anything, XPath, full XPath, selector out. Okay, so just go for the, I'm going for the XPath. So this selector hub is useful when you can see the element.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, we have to import this as well. Okay, now okay, go back here, selectors up, relative XPath, and say now I can do it by two ways, like say
So the
uh,
part that you have written in between is common, right? I should
yeah,
write it in
yeah,
every.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It is a common thing. This is a common for
Okay.
every page you can say. Okay, button click equal to say driver dot find element by dot x by dot x path, and the path we have just copied. Okay, and just say button click dot click. Okay, now even I can do it by this way, or I can just write like this directly.
Yeah.
Okay, it just depends on me. This is a two-line code and this is a just one line code. Okay, now after clicking on this, it will take me to this page. Okay, so again I will copy the relative x path. Okay, because say driver dot find element by dot x path, and the x path we have just copied dot send keys we have already discussing, and Selenium training 10 at the rate gmail.com. Okay, now if I run this page, let's see so not run or not. It has opened the page, but it has not do anything. Just it gives me an error,
Yeah.
something like this. Okay, so like element not interactable.
Hmm.
Okay, now why it is giving me this?
No
Can you?
idea.
Okay, because the reason is that when my driver go to this page, when my driver go to this page, the element is not ready, or you can say it is not interactable.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
too soon for it to interact with it.
yeah. Okay, so there are two methods I can use. First, what I will do, uh, when it goes click to the click, I will go with the time dot sleep and give a sleep of say 5 seconds. Okay,
Yeah.
say run it again. Now you see it has right.
Yeah.
Okay, but it is a very poor method. Now what happens? Suppose the element is interactable in only 2 seconds, but my
Mm.
code will wait for 5 seconds. Or the other
Yeah.
thing is that the element will interactable, maybe some of a network issue, it will be interactable after 10 seconds, but my code will sleep for 5 seconds only.
Hmm.
Okay, so for that we can use implicit wait. Okay, so I just comment this one and say driver dot implicitly wait for say 10 seconds, or I can say for 5 seconds. Okay. And again the same thing, dot send keys. Let's run this again. Wait, click on sign in. Now you see, now it
Yeah.
doesn't wait for 5 seconds. Even if it is interactable in 2 seconds, then it will do the work.
Yeah.
Even it is interactable in 1 second or 3 seconds or 4 seconds, it just wait for till that moment.
Yeah.
Okay, now if you see over here, then button is there. Okay, again I will say go for the relative XPath and say driver dot find element, say by dot XPath, and say XPath we have copied dot click. Okay, now when I click on it, just a minute. Yeah, it will go to this page and
Yeah.
I have to enter password. Suppose if I go with the again relative XPath, after the clicking on this, let's say driver dot find element, say by dot XPath. XPath is this dot send keys and say anything, say password. Okay, and after that I have to click on this sign in button. Okay, which I'm not doing, but just I'm right now I'm going to enter the password only.
Yeah.
Okay, now click, then don't send keys password. Let's run this. Now, if I go back here again, it will give me an error. Okay,
Hmm.
let's go with the implicit wait. After the clicking, I will again going for the implicit wait. Again, you can see it will give me an error.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Hmm.
here we have to use explicit wait.
Okay.
Implicit wait will not work here because if you see the page, this password text box, it is the same URL.
Hmm.
If I go here, it is the same URL. Okay, this password text box is appeared when I click on this next button. This
Yeah.
is a condition. This is
Hmm.
not something like it's a network issue that okay, the text box will load after the page load. No, it is a condition that when I click on this next button, then only that password text box is appeared.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have where we have there we have to use explicit wait.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, so how to use explicit wait? First of all, we have to import the drivers like from Selenium dot WebDriver dot support dot wait. Import WebDriver wait. Okay, and say from Selenium dot WebDriver dot support import import expected conditions as EC, or you can name it anything. Okay, here I just comment this one. After the click, I will say wait equal to the WebDriver wait and say driver and give a wait of say 15 seconds. Okay, and say mm, wait dot until expected conditions dot visibility of element located. You can go with any location now. Say by. If I go here and if I inspected now here ID, it has the ID. You can say the this is the password. So ID is password. I can go with the ID. I can go with the XPath. Anything. Right now it is a, if it has a ID, then ID is the best thing. Password. Okay. Then after that, driver dot and put ID password anything dot send keys password. Let's run this again. Okay, by.id password. Just a minute. Okay, my mistake. I have to put this has to be taken as one argument.
Yeah.
Okay, just
Yeah.
remember this. This has to be taken as one argument.
Yeah.
Okay, I will run it again. Now you see it has
Mm.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is how explicit wait work. Explicit
Okay.
wait for the condition. It has
Mm.
many conditions. Now suppose if I just copy this here and say now visibility of all elements, presence of all elements. Okay, you can say presence of element located. Okay,
Yeah.
so you can there are many conditions in explicit wait. Explicit wait for the condition. It
Yeah.
will not depend on the time thing. Okay, right
Yeah.
now I have given it in 15 seconds. Okay, but the thing is that it will depend on the condition. If the condition met in the first second, second, or the fifth second, or the eighth second, it will just go for that thing.
Okay.
Okay, so this is known as explicit wait. So many in the interview they will ask you what is the difference between say explicit wait and implicit wait. Say difference between, you can see this is the most asked search question. Now if you say here now applied globally to all element searches through the WebDriver instance, applied only to a specific element or scenario.
Yeah.
uh, Waits for an element to be present in the DOM, you
Mm.
can say on the page. Now
Yeah.
it waits for specific condition such as element be clickable, visible.
Visible.
Okay,
Yeah.
now so it has many things. When you use it, you will definitely find out by yourself. Now you can say pause the DOM at regular intervals until the element is found. Okay, now pause, by pause it means okay it will knock the door first on the second, third second, 4 second, 5 second. If it not found, it will show no such element exception.
Yeah.
Now checks for the specified condition at regular intervals. Default is this is the it can be asked. Default is
Mm.
500 milliseconds. You can give the time as well.
Yeah.
Okay, if it is not met, it throws a timeout exception.
Okay.
Okay, uh, okay. Now you can see most experts recommend using express wait as a primary strategy for better control. Okay, the
Yeah.
basically we will use this implicit wait for the just say you can say we cannot go for time dot sleep because if we give the 5 seconds, then my code will sleep for 5 seconds even if the element is interactable in the second.
Yeah.
Okay, so they can ask you, so which one is better in time dot sleep or implicit wait? You will have to, okay, implicit wait is better, and they will ask you why it is better. So you can answer the time dot sleep will sleep the code for particular seconds. Suppose if I'm giving example 5, then the code will sleep for 5 seconds. Even my element is interactable in second, but my code will sleep for 5 seconds. But in implicit wait, if the code is my element is interactable in the second, then it will only stop for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, and the third is the, I don't think so it is in there. Mm, this is the, now this is the most you can say the latest thing, Fluent Wait. Okay,
Yeah.
now uh, here you can see wait, WebDriver, here timeout now. This is the thing, pole frequency. Frequency to check the condition in seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. Now here in the your explicit wait, we will not give this thing. This is by default in explicit wait. But in fluent wait, you can give the, you can say your mm, frequency, and you can give the exceptions as well. Okay. So this is the new thing in Selenium that is known as fluent wait. Okay, just try it by yourself. If you're not able to get it, I will do it for you. But this is the same thing. This is just the same, that you can give the exceptions, that ignore the exceptions. You can ignore the exceptions, that no such element not visible, element not. These are the exceptions, and you can give as many exceptions as you want by just giving the comma.
Yeah.
Okay, now because you are polling the thing, this is a polling thing, so it will exceptions to be ignored during polling. Frequency to check the condition. Okay, maximum time to wait. So in the fluent wait, you can give the poll time and exceptions, ignoring
Yeah.
the exceptions. Okay, by
Okay.
default it is 500 millisecond by default.
Okay.
In, if you say for the explicit wait, it is 500 milliseconds. So
Hmm.
they will introduce a new thing where you can introduce the poll frequency by you.
Yeah.
Okay, so just try it. If you don't get it, I will definitely do it for you.
Okay.
Okay, now uh, now suppose here, yeah, here CNN, or you can say BBC, yeah, bbc.com. Now suppose uh client come to you. Okay, and he says that, okay, I want all the links of this page.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I say inspect this, so this is an anchor tag.
Yeah.
Okay, now I will go with the new Python file, say name it as BBC. Okay, and here I will just copy. Okay, now instead of here, I will just copy here. Okay, now there's a thing. Say if I want to count all the, you can say, anchor tags. Okay, say list one equal to driver dot find. Now I'm not going to go for the element, because I'm going for the element because
Yeah.
anchor tag is more than one. Now
Yeah.
by dot, now there is thing known as tag name, and the
Okay.
tag name is what?
A.
A. Okay, and say a and print count count is list one dot say I think so. No, this is not length of list one. Okay,
Yeah.
now it will give me the length. Now suppose if I want to get the text of all the anchor tags, say for x in range, range will be from mm, say 1 comma mm, length of
Of list plus
list
one.
one list one. Okay, we can go with the plus one as well for the last element. Okay,
Yeah.
now so now say I have my anchor text, I have my count. So how can I get the text of particular all the anchor text? You can say,
href.
okay, say now here I have my list. It is
Yeah.
containing all the anchor tags. But
Yeah.
how should I get the href of that particular anchor tag?
Mm, yeah. List element list one.
Mm, list is containing the anchor tags.
Yeah.
Now, if I just show you here in my paint, now list, suppose this is my list. List is containing all the anchor tags. With here, say href, something like anything. Okay, then there is something text, and there is an closing anchor tag. Okay, now again there is something, again there is something. So my list is containing all the anchor tags. Okay, you can count the length of this list, but how can I get all the text of the anchors? How?
Mm,
Now, if I run this, it will give me size. Okay, now suppose if I run this, okay, now it says, okay, mm, I have to, im- okay, now you see, count is 223.
yeah.
I have the size, but how can I say, can say, if I want to, can say, if you see over here, if I want to print this text, how can I do? Now, this is a list containing all the anchor tags.
Mm.
So, how can I find it?
Dot text driver dot. Um,
This is the list one. So, this is the
yeah.
size.
Run this loop. So when
Okay.
we run this loop,
Yes. Now.
yeah.
hmm Now, what should I do?
Then we are on the first anchor tag, and then if we do
Now say,
Driver dot find element.
but driver, why driver? Because now my all elements
Yeah,
in the list one. So
already there.
driver is, yeah. So I have to find
Hmm.
in the
List.
list. Say,
List
let's
one,
say print. Even I don't know. Say just one. Yeah.
then X, because
Mm,
that has a value.
now say X. Yeah.
Hmm. Dot text.
Okay. Let's run this. Uh,
Hmm.
you see.
Yeah.
Okay. But you see that some of the lines are empty.
Yes.
This one, this one.
Yeah.
So, but why it is empty? That's a different question. Because sometimes what happens, there are images. Anchor tag
Yeah.
has the images, so they doesn't have any text. Okay,
Hmm.
so that's why it will give you empty thing.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So you can go for the that if list one x dot text is equal to null, then
Hmm.
don't go
Yeah.
inside. Okay, otherwise just print. Okay? Now you have print in the list one. Then now there is no issue with the driver thing because you have
Yeah.
taken all the anchor tags in this list. That's why we have a
Yes.
list one x dot text.
Yes.
Okay. Now, okay, that's a good thing. Now, client comes to you and it says to you, okay, I want that only this thing. Like if I inspect it, uh, it says that I want only the text of this, say text of this, okay, or you can say these the which are in the bold, okay. So how you can do that? If you inspect this one, okay, now when this thing comes, you have to find its parent. Now you can see if I go
Yeah.
to this div, it is highlighting all the divs here,
Yeah.
he- here, here. Okay, now this div is my
Yeah.
main thing. Okay,
Yes.
I will just copy this, copy the XPath of this div. Okay, and here by that name instead of by dot XPath and the XPath I have copied here. Okay, now it has contained, if you see over here, it has contained all the divs. You see over here. Now it contains all the divs, but
Yeah.
what I want this as 2. Suppose if I go with the print and say range and say if I go with the +1 and I will go with the text thing. Okay, say if I run this, okay, list index out of range. Okay, say I will go with the this thing again, run it. Okay, so count is 1. Count is 1. Why?
Because you copied the parent tag. So under parent, it's just giving you one parent.
Yes, because if you see over here, I have taken all the anchor tags from the page by dot tag name. But
Mm.
here what I have done, I have taken only, so yeah, this one, yeah, this is the parent element. So it is
Yeah.
taken as only one element.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what should I do? I have to look inside this parent element, all the other elements. Say, say if I go with the div tag, but there are many div tags.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have to look for the element which is present only once so that I can get my elements inside this parent element. Now I know that even in the human eye it is four. That four divs
Yeah.
are there. But when I go with the div thing, it will count all the divs. It will count this div, this div, this div, this div. Now let's take and say, now I have to uh, say anything like name it as uh, ELE elements. So now I will look inside the list one. List one dot. Now it is only one. So I have to look for the say mm, mm, okay. So this is okay. You're getting my point or not?
Yes.
Okay. So what should I do to get all this thing? Can say this is my parent thing. Okay. Uh,
Yeah.
this is the div contain. Now say list one. Okay. Okay. Now when I say find elements, now I have my element is only one. Get my point or not?
Yeah.
This element is only, this is the one element only.
Yeah.
If it is taken as div, this is only one element. Now
Yeah.
I have to find the elements inside this div. Now list one dot find elements. Say by dot say first I will go with the tag name. Say div. Okay, and I will say copy list one, and I will just comment this one. Now if I run this, now you see count is 32. But
Yeah.
when I look through human eye, I can see that only I want four elements,
Four.
but it is giving me
Yeah.
32. Why? Because it will count all the divs which are inside this particular parent element. It will count this div 1, 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6. Okay, so it
Yeah.
will count all the divs which are inside this parent. So
Yeah.
I have to look for that particular element so that I can now you can see H2 is there.
Yeah.
If this is a element, so my target is h2, and you can see that h2 is only comes 4 times here. Second h2, then there is I think so. This one is also first, second, third. Okay, now again h2. Okay, so h2 is the tag that is come only once in this whole. So I can go with the say by dot tag name h2. Okay, now if I run this again, so count is 4. Okay, it will give me the count as 4. But how to print the particular thing? Now suppose if I go with this thing for x and range, x elements, okay, and say elements here. Okay, we were tricked how. Okay, now see uh, here. Now it starts with here. We were tricked how one like here. Say this one. Okay. Yes. So it starts with the one and taken this as one. Okay, that is not an issue. We will. But suppose if I want that it should print this one thing also. So how can I do it? If I inspect is okay, it has print the h2. But what I want that it should print suppose all the this thing. So how can I do that?
Under that, if you select div, okay, so you want to select,
Suppose if I want that this all thing, whatever the thing here, say here, this
yeah,
div is
it's coming with
containing,
that under that the div tag
but now how can I print all this thing?
backslash div.
Now here, what I'm doing, I'm just uh, getting the tag name as2, and I'm just printing that elements dot text. Okay, so it is printing this line only.
Yeah,
What this is this line only. But what I want to print this whole thing, whatever thing is here.
yeah.
So now if we
So you're
see
already
here,
at the parent tag. If you go one step under that, which is the div tag, it should give you that, right?
no, just understand my question. What I want, suppose if I want to this go for the p tag. So how can I do this? Only I want only to print this only.
Hmm.
So how can I do that? Now if you,
So div
yeah,
backslash p.
no. Here I am not going for any. Here you can see I am not giving anything. I'm just going for the parent tag. Then I will find the number of h2 tags. Okay,
Yeah,
then I will go for the, you can say, text thing. But
got it.
what I want right now, if I want to print this one as well.
Hmm.
Now, suppose if I want to print this first, I will go copy full X path. Okay, and I will study my X path over here. Say this is the X path. Okay, now again, say this is a P tag again. Copy full X path. Okay, now the third. Say third one, inspect. Okay, copy full XPath. Okay, now tell me the difference between the three.
Mm. And the this one div 1, div 2, div 3. So
Yes, it is changing.
yeah,
Now, what I have got here, I have the count of number of elements. Okay, now
yes,
say count is 4. Now, mm, mm, I will name it as say web element. Okay, say driver dot find element by dot xpath, and the xpath we have just copied this one. Okay, and say print web element dot text. Okay, now if I move here, div 1, div 2, div 3, it is changing like this one.
yeah,
Okay, so what will I do? I'll just delete this one, plus plus. Okay, okay. And the web web element. Okay, now if I run this, okay, and if I look over here, sorry, here, health editor, okay, and then recruits tell the this is second thing, and if I go with the plus one thing, it will type the third one as well.
okay,
Okay, now what I have done, I have used this s2 for counting the number of particular elements. Okay, so it will give me 4. So
yeah,
then when I go back to my driver thing, I have taken the XPath. Now I know that it is changing here.
yeah,
So I have just given the dynamic thing. One, then it loops back, then it will two, then go back third, then fourth. Okay.
yeah,
So this way you can go for the particular uh, sites, or you can say particular, you can say direction. Now, what I want you to do, say go to this. Now you can just a minute inspect it. Or say inspect it. Uh, or just okay, just do one thing. You have to print all the links like home, news, sports, business, innovation, health, culture. Okay, you have to print all these three.
okay,
Okay, like I have
yeah,
printed here, you have to print all the text of these links.
okay,
Okay, so this is your homework.
sure,
Okay, so after that, if you done this, go for the print of, suppose this, whatever the, suppose if I inspected uh, here, 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 uh, or, okay, just inspect. Okay, Yeah, you can go for the text of, suppose if you I want to print the text of this bolded thing. Okay, go
Hmm.
for this thing. If you successfully done this thing, then go for the
Okay.
print of this thing.
Yes, sure.
Okay, so this is your homework.